everyone. Happy Wednesday. Today is a bittersweet day, that's for sure, because it is the 1 year anniversary from my brain injury. So, slight recap. I was camping with my husband after Easter last year, and we had been hiking, and then we had a thunderstorm come through. And many of you followed along my journey and saw that we posted I was in the ER that night because I fell and hit my head. And I hit it twice. It went down, went back up, went down again, and much harder the second time. I remember Wally saying he could hear it too from where he was. And I knew it was gonna hurt. I knew it was gonna leave a mark, but I didn't know how bad it was gonna be. So it's 1 year later, and I did make a list here. Hi, Mom. And I thought I would share a little bit of kind of recapping what I went through and give you guys some ideas of kind of what that was like, because maybe you know someone who's been through it or going through it, and then show you the other side of it, because I wouldn't be here sitting here sharing this with you if it weren't for some changes that happened in my life and some things that took the upside down, inside out part of my life and made it whole and made it new. So here we go. So 1 year ago, I started, having the symptoms right away of just sound, light, fatigue was major, and smells and taste, like super sensitive, hyper aware of things. And it wasn't terrible, I will say, in the first week or so. It was more the week and a half mark. And I was told within the week or, 2 weeks, I should be feeling a lot better and probably be able to go back to my life. And they even were telling me 3 days in that I'd be able to go back to work and do whatever, and there was no way. I started the first day I felt fine. I felt just tired. But then the headaches and things started coming, and the constant nausea, dizziness. And very quickly, within a month, you could tell my hair did not look good. Like, I was not getting the right nutrients. I was taking a lot of my vitamins and supplements that I normally would, tried to eat things, but my appetite was gone. Yes, I wasn't very active, but my brain was also needing food to help and heal, and my stomach was not allowing me to eat because all the energy was going to my brain to heal, so it was like my stomach intestines had just shut down. So my body wasn't processing food very well, and so you could see it in my skin, you could see it in my hair. My hair was falling out like crazy, and was like really brittle, and I just remember it also went really straight. It's been going back to curly. You guys can't see it right now, but if you've seen me in some of my other videos, it's been coming in a lot fuller and thicker, and that was something I was reminded of last night, and I went, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So that was another one. I started learning what anxiety was, true panic attacks were after my injury, because I had heard from other people, worked with a lot of people trying to help them find certain oils to help support them, or just breathing deeply, or just taking a time out. And I went, oh, this is what a panic attack is. This is what severe anxiety is. And I knew, oh my goodness, I'm going to be living with this the rest of my life. I was using a lot of the oils, the things I knew that I could use. But again, I was really sensitive to smells. So it was very, very hard to use things that I knew would help me and things I had studied for a long time. And there was times I'm like, I can't do it. And Molly goes, come on. I'm like, I can't do it. It's making me feel worse. And I didn't want to feel worse. Any little thing to help me feel better was what I wanted. I remember eating a lot of cookies, because some days that was all that tasted good was my almond cookies. My mom made those, or potato salad. And then the next day, maybe nothing, because nothing sounded good. So in May, I believe that was around the time I started doing some physical therapy and occupational therapy and all that stuff, vision therapy, all sorts of things all at once. and it was just too much. And I was trusting the doctor because they're like, well, you need to eat more. You need to be getting more sleep. And I'm going, I know that, but give me something else to work with here. My body needs help. It needs support. So I was trying to trust the doctor, and I knew better. And Wally kept telling me not to. I took a prescription, and pretty quickly my brain shut down. It was like 2 weeks in, I think, not even. And I was home by myself, and I fell down the stairs. I blacked out for the first time in my life, and it was scary because it took me a while to come to and figure out what happened. Called Wally. I did have my leg checked at that point because they thought it was broken. It swelled up a lot, and it was just a really bad sprain, and I had sprained my shoulder because I was still holding onto the railing. But even before that, I was really weak going up and down the stairs, partly the dizziness, and I knew not to go down the stairs when I was somewhat dizzy. Someone had been really kind and gave us, let us borrow their mini fridge. It's a little bittersweet seeing it go back home yesterday because I realized, wow, there was a time in my life I had to have a little fridge upstairs because I couldn't get up and down the stairs when Wally was at work to get food. And there's a video of Wally, I didn't know he took it, of me a day after having some of my therapies and being at rehab. I had a hard time getting up the stairs. I was crying, trying to get up the stairs. Molly was trying to help. She was pacing, and the noises were bothering me. My brain was trying to figure out one foot in the front of the other, lift your leg, just trying to tell it, walking myself. Those little things that we take for granted that our body naturally does. I just remember having to walk through it step by step, and it was a very slow process, and it was frustrating because I felt stuck. I felt scared, and I felt like this was how life was going to be the rest of it, or that I'd have those days where I'd be afraid I'd fall down the stairs. I remember being very terrified that I would fall down the stairs again and hurt myself or hit my head, because when I fell that time, I hit my head again, and I caused a slight concussion on the other side of my head. So I had a lot of steps back in that healing process, and I didn't make a lot of steps forward. They were very small, but they were there. And then I started realizing a lot of the trips or a lot of the things that I had planned, and the fact that I couldn't go to work, and I was learning I may not be able to ever work again. I may not even be able to share my oils. And then I started seeing that was one thing that was staying with me, is I could journal. I could recall Bible verses and songs, and I could recall what oils did for me. Those were the two things that my brain held on to, and those were little hope and gift that I had from God that it was going to be okay, and it was showing me what I needed to do. I needed to focus on those things because those are the things that I remembered, and those were the things that were true to my heart. It really stripped away a lot of things for me. I was not able to spend time with family even when I started doing better. The noise of being around my nieces and nephews or just the whole family would have been too much. Going to a restaurant was hard. It was scary. And I was told that was going to continue, that it would just, things would trigger and symptoms would be triggered, like PTSD type symptoms where something loud or something may trigger my brain to remember that traumatic event and symptoms to come back. And I knew that there had to be other options, and I had to keep looking to this. But with that, I was worried I wouldn't get to enjoy certain things I've been looking forward to. We knew pretty quickly Wally wasn't going to be able to go to convention with me. And so we started having that conversation that this one thing that felt like Christmas for me, where I got to see my oil family, meet new friends, learn new things about the products. And that was something I was so looking forward to. Had tickets, had everything bought. We knew he wasn't going to be able to go. And we thought, is there any way I can fly? I was cleared to fly, which was good. And I was encouraged to go because one of the other issues I had even before my injury, and I never could figure out how to stop it, was I would just go. I wouldn't stop. I would push through the pain. I would ignore it. And I knew it was there. And sometimes I would stop, but sometimes I would do it when it was too late. And I was doing that in my recovery process, and that's what didn't help. And when I started listening and going, you guys, to my therapist, I can't come in every day. I can't come in every other day. I need to really spread this out and only do 2 days a week. I need to not do full days, because they were having me do full days because I was having a hard time, like I said, getting up the stairs to bed. I had a hard time taking a shower and washing my hair or taking a bath. Things that always felt so good to me, so relaxing, were painful, were traumatizing almost. Did not look forward to them. So most of those things that I looked forward to, I felt like were stripped away from me because my body couldn't do them. Or I could do it, but it was painful. So again, even going through that, I was still wearing sunglasses in places. I was teased at therapy. I looked like I was ready to go rob a bank. Like, I don't have the energy and stamina for that, but thanks. I was always wearing hats, sometimes earplugs. And again, I was always pretty much slunched over. I didn't look very lively, and I wasn't very talkative. So for me to go to, in September, so we were still having that conversation in like June and July, but 6 months after the injury, for me to be able to go fly by myself to Salt Lake City, a lot of people were really concerned about it. Family was worried about it. I remember Wally dropping me off. I had my hat, I had my sunglasses. I remember talking to my mom at the airport with headphones in to help me not have a meltdown. Because one of the things that I was having at that time was we'd go to the grocery store and check out all the sounds, all the lights, Costco, walking through. There was a time Wally got mad at me, and he didn't mean to. It was just, he was frustrated with everything because I was slow getting through the store. He liked to be in there and out of there. And I couldn't move that quickly with all this stimulation. And it really wasn't a busy time, but I froze at the cash register. I was trying to watch things. I was trying to focus, make sure everything got rung up correctly. I was trying to remember what my next step was. Oh, you got to put a card in. While he was trying to ask me a question at the same time, and normally I could respond, I could take that in. It was like I ignored him, and he got hurt by it. And I looked at him after, and he goes, "Are you okay?" I said, "I shut down. I couldn't." We got outside. I said, I didn't know what you were saying. I didn't know what was going on. I shut down. And so that was a fear that would happen when I was flying by myself. And it didn't, thankfully. I mean, there were some close moments. And I remember thinking, yes, I'm going to this convention. I'm going to see my mom. I'm going to see my friends. I'm going to learn more about oils. I'm going to get to try new oils and bring some new oils home. And if I come home and I am in bed for 2 months and I taken steps back, it's okay. It's worth it. That's what I thought. Because that's what I thought my life was going to be like. That I would do something fun like that, and I would be stuck going back to bed, going back to how, a rough life, almost vegetative state. But I deep down also knew that there's a reason I was supposed to be there. There's a reason in my heart God was pushing me to say, no, I'm going. It was strong. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm sure many of you have been there. If you've been there, share that you've had those moments, you've had those times when you deep down knew. It may not have been a health thing, it may have been work or, changing something in your life that you knew you had to do it. And others told you, I don't think so, or I don't know. And you still knew, and you were driven to do it. You were driven to make that push forward. That was me. So I did. And I knew there was a reason I needed to be there. And I didn't know it was because it was going to change my life for the better. And it was going to take everything and make it whole, make it right, make it new again. And it's been an incredible journey. It's been incredible to go through. And it's been painful. It's been hard. but I feel like along that, I've been able to help a lot of people. I've been able to understand and relate to them and know what they're going through and know a better way to help support them. So a lot of you have seen me talk about this, but adaptive, that first night when I was at convention, I remember actually we were sitting at dinner and I had tried the oil and it helped with a lot of my symptoms, but my mom and I were sitting at dinner, I had the energy. All of a sudden I had swelling on this half of my face. My mom looked at me and she goes, do you know you have, I'm like, I can feel it. I can feel the swelling happen all in here. Everything was trying to move. I think a lot of the swelling in my brain was probably trying to get out, but it gathered in here and it was pretty swollen. So I just sat there and I was just trying to move it like my cranial sacral had been teaching me. That had been huge. That had been helping a lot. That's partly why I was able to go and do what I did. And she gave me a lot of tips and pointers to help me through sitting a lot, walking, standing, tips of things to do on my own to help keep things draining. So I took one of these, like they had talked about, just one of the adaptive capsules at night, and then I had diffused a couple drops of the adaptive oil. I'd already experienced it a couple times that day. I love it. I'm gonna use it because I know I'm getting emotional here. And it helped calm my body down and help me sleep for the first time. You guys have seen that video before, hopefully. If you haven't, be sure to check it out. But the next day I woke up and I knew that morning I started crying. I didn't really tell anyone. I cried because I was so excited to know that I slept for the first time in 6 months through the entire night. And I woke up feeling like a whole new person already. I knew I had quite a ways to go, but I knew if I could get more nights like that, a lot of healing could take place. And it did. A lot of you guys have seen that. But beyond that, some of those things I had mentioned that I dealt with even before my injury, where I would just keep going and I would push through the pain and I wouldn't stop, or I would not push through my fears or push some of my boundaries that I needed to reach goals, or to really reach people in a better way, or to show really what I can do, or the gifts that I've been given, instead of doubting myself, because a lot of times I had that. I've been able to push through a lot of that. I've been able to push those fears away. Yes, they might come, but I've been able to look at them and go, you know what? I see this as a fear. I see this as holding me back, but I'm going to face it and I'm going to push through. And I know I'm going to be stronger and better for it. And I'm grateful for that. I'm not as indecisive as I used to be, which is great. If I get really, really tired, it does happen, but I can recognize it. I have been able to drive without feeling so sick to my stomach in the car. My hair, like I said, is coming back in fuller. I have been able to work and share and be there for people. Yes, fear is a liar, Kim, I agree. And I have been pretty much symptom-free, I want to say since October, technically, because I still was having some headaches. They were not nearly as bad. They would come periodically. But most of those symptoms just by like the beginning of October were gone. And I wasn't even using the adaptive stuff for a whole month yet. And it was just amazing to see the changes. Relearning how to do a lot of things that a lot of times is a fear for people, and they can't get over it because it triggers a lot of the symptoms back. And I've been able to face that. I've been able to do those things, and I am so grateful. I am grateful I listened to my gut, my heart, and God pushing me to go to convention, because I probably wouldn't have tried adaptive, and I definitely wouldn't be where I am now. So yes, my first and foremost, I am just grateful to the Lord for always being there with us, even when we don't think so. And I knew He was through all of it. I also knew He put that on my heart to be there, to defy some odds, because He's the one who does it. but he also gave us some gifts. He gave us tools. We just have to listen to our bodies. We have to listen to what we know is right, and we need to try those things and not be afraid to. I've had people who have been afraid to try essential oils. Have friends afraid to try the adaptive, and they do, because they've seen what I've been through, and their life is so much more joyful and exciting. And yes, I've taken it consistently. I think there's one night where I have not used this and I regretted it. I did not sleep well. And there was one night I didn't use this and I didn't sleep well. I don't use it as much as I did in the beginning. My body really craved it. And it's been awesome to hear from my holistic specialist how it's been helping heal my body and my brain as a whole in different ways of things she's been trying to do for 7 years that she couldn't do. And so it's just amazing how calming it is, and how consistently using it for the last, it's been 9 months now that I've been using adaptive. 7 months? I think seven might be right. My math is off, guys. I didn't add it up. But yes, it's been an incredible journey, and it's been incredible to go through. It's been hard to look back. It's been hard today to think of some of those things. I also, like I said, I was weak. I couldn't get up and down stairs. I've been carrying boxes up and down stairs. I remember for quite a while, I couldn't even carry laundry hampers up and down the stairs. I didn't know what I was going to do when Wally wasn't here and I needed to get some laundry done. And it's been amazing. I didn't know what I was going to do about mowing the lawn, the vibration from the lawnmower, the noise, even having headphones on. I've been able to do that. I've been able to climb ladders and do things like that. And it's been incredible. I'm grateful. And I'm hoping that anyone going through this, anyone who is questioning trying some natural safe oils or products, don't hesitate. Reach out to myself or the person that's shared this video with you, or that doTERRA person that you've been working with, because these oils can change your life. You have to give them a chance. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit. There's some people that don't notice right away, like I did, but you have to remember my injury was still quite fresh, quite new. I did see a dear friend who I know I've been sharing adaptive with for a while, and she's experienced some changes. She had posted something, so she has also been through a similar situation. Yes, 1 year anniversaries are huge, and it is interesting to be able to reflect. It is. Yeah. A lot has changed for me. I don't think there's anything that hasn't really not changed, which is incredibly, probably why it's overwhelming and emotional for me. Thank you. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate it. So yes, 1 year. I can't believe it. It has been emotional. Even Wally and I, when we try to talk about it, he starts choking up because it brings back a lot of hard memories for him. Hopefully we've been talking that we'll try and do like a video together where he gets to share kind of his point of view. And we'll talk about certain things that I went through, because he's got an interesting point of view, and he has the point of the caregiver. And it was hard and it was traumatic for him. He may not have physically had the injury, but he had an injury of his own because his wife was stuck in bed for months. His wife was, as she knew her, was not fully there. So the times that my sense of humor was there, then he was happy about it because he knew I was doing better. Oh, thank you, Yesenia. I know, we're getting close to your 1 year too. There for you, girl. Oh, yes, Mom, thank you. I am a new person. And Mom was there. She saw a lot too. And it's been fun to hear her points of view and her seeing what I've been through. God is good. You are right. He is good. And he gives us tools. So that's why I do what I do with sharing oils and sharing my story, is because I want you guys to know that you have tools, you have options. God has given us some amazing things to help us, and we are also to be there together to support one another, help each other through and help those that are going through some hard times. And I think right now it's important too, as I shared with someone, going through quarantining is very similar to what happened to me. Was I was pretty much quarantined from people, from life. Imagine, someone had shared, can you imagine not being able to have screens or, TV or internet or any of that? And I said, I wasn't allowed to look at screens. I wasn't allowed to, yes, I could kind of talk on the phone, but I couldn't watch movies. Eventually I was able to start listening to books on tape. It took a while, but I was able to. And slowly I was able to add screens in. So I said, that was me. Life is, I've been there. I know how hard it can be to feel like your life is turned upside down and things have changed. Thankfully, I had my oils. I had Molly. We called her my comfort dog because she definitely was there 24/7. But I did have friends and family. I had those of you supporting me, lifting me up in prayers. And because of that, I do believe that's why I'm here and doing what I'm doing, because God gave me those gifts, those talents, those skills, and He's telling me to go out and share and be there for all of you. So thank you again for following this journey with me and walking alongside of me, and also sharing your stories and reaching out to me. I do appreciate them. I do think of you guys, and I am so grateful. I just remember while I reading everything off and comments people would share, and it kept me going, and it helped me get to the next stage in the healing and the journey that God had me on and the path He had me on, and He's going to continue to do that. So again, thank you. And 1 year's, big deal. It'll be fun to see what comes next and where I go from here. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, Mom, for saying that. Yes, He is good. God is good. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. And if you have had any questions about Adaptive or any oils or other things I did, let me know. There's a lot of things I did besides doing oils that helped me kind of through the process and also help my body heal and get back on track. So, bye, everyone.